Hello, and welcome to the Higher View Podcast, the podcast dedicated to the creative, the outside thinker, and the believer. If this is your first time to the show, we just want to welcome you. Thank you for tuning in. If you are watching on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you are watching or listening, we just want to invite you to like, subscribe, or follow in whichever way you can. It just greatly helps us out, getting us to the top of the feed of wherever we are. So thank you in advance. And I am here with my better half and wifey, permanent co-host, Alexus.
Yeah, you heard it. Better half.
Much better half. She is my better half, and we're getting into that today.
Yes, exactly.
How are you doing today?
Doing good. We kind of changed up our schedule a little bit, so it's been pretty nice. Been liking eating dinner earlier.
Yeah.
And not an hour before going to sleep.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to get much better rest. My body has definitely been showing me the benefits of that. But I'm doing good. I felt like I had great energy today. I worked out. I had another 250 milligrams pre-workout.
I want to know what that feels like.
Feels itchy.
That's a lot of caffeine. 250
You
milligrams.
can feel it in your face, but when you start working out, it's like much better. So it kind of like goes away.
So Celsius has 200 milligrams. That's 250, which...
By the way.
Yes, we
Celsius.
are also stopping drinking Celsius.
I'm done drinking
And
Celsius.
if you drink Celsius, I know it's going to be hard. I know you don't want to hear this, but you should stop. Why? This one ingredient, sucralose. It's a synthetic sugar that's in Celsius, and it's really, really, really not good for you. I was doing my research, and I just found this out. I knew it wasn't that great, like to begin with, but I was just digging into it, and I knew I shouldn't have because I was going to ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
But sucralose can also be even more bad than sugar can. Like it's linked even more directly to diabetes than sugar is. So it's really, really bad for you. And sugar itself it's like deteriorating for your body. If you eat like lots of sugar, or if you have a lot of sugar in your diet, it destroys your body. Like it just breaks it down.
When I go to the doctor, that's like the first thing they try to get people off of is sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and then Celsius, I'm sure any zero sugar-free drinks, look at the ingredients and see what is what are they using instead of sugar?
Yeah.
Because that's what Celsius says. It literally says zero free or zero sugar free or whatever. I don't even know. But then you look at the ingredients and it's that freaking ingredient.
Which usually if it says sugar free, then it's some type of synthetic sugar to make it sweet.
Yeah.
You know, so like some type of sweeteners in there. So I'm sure there's something out there.
Miracle Morning?
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. we want to save that one, right?
Okay.
We want to save that one.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I think today was a little bit of a busy day. It's been a busy week, honestly, if I'm being honest. But it hasn't been too crazy. I've definitely experienced worse, but I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think things can always be worse.
Yeah.
So it's always good to find things that you're grateful for.
Yeah, we are a little behind podcast wise, like in the week. Usually I'll be editing already like through the week, but we are a couple of days behind, which is fine. I'm always like ahead of editing if I start like at the beginning of the week, so I know I'll be good if I edit like right now and finish out throughout the week. But yeah, I'll be good.
Good.
Yeah. But today we're going to be talking about egos and how it's a killer. Ego is a killer, and how it can ruin relationships, how it can ruin relationship with yourself or any kind of relationship that you're a part of. So to begin with, what would you say in your words ego would be?
Man. Well, I will must say my ego tried to get in the way a little bit right when we started recording. I'm gonna be real with you guys. You know, this little incident happened and it just kind of like, I got a little offended inside, and I could feel like my ego, my pride kind of puffing up a little bit. And I have to take a step back and be like, okay, let's not let that bother me right now. If it's something that really needs to bother me, we can work through it later on. But ego, I really think just gets in the way. I think it's in the same category as pride. Pride and ego go very hand in hand together.
Sure.
Yeah. How about you?
I would say, ego, like if I was to say a definition of ego would be like your self-interpretation of like things that you can do. So when I say self-interpretation, it's like your understanding of what you think you can do and not what you can actually do. Like somebody is very big-headed, you know, that term big-headed, like, oh, I can do anything. I don't need anybody's help. Like that's their self-interpretation of what they can handle. So it's like an ideology. They give themselves their own idea of who they are, or who they can be, or what they're owed and stuff like that. So if I was to give a definition, that's kind of on the lines that I would give.
What's like an example of that?
I'm gonna say work. I'm not gonna mention anybody, but I'm just gonna say I've been around people that have been very what is the word?
Egotistic.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Kind of going with what we're talking about.
But they've been very, what is the word? Deterrent or deferring away from any advice, any help. Like they don't want any help. And like they just can't be told anything what to do, or they can't be told that they're doing something wrong, or it completely throws their game off. So just seeing people like that. And I know like it's kind of like almost in the culture that we live in. I know that I've heard from other countries, like people that visit other countries, it's a lot more easier to get advice. It's a lot more easy to hear how you're doing wrong because people want to do better. People want to be the best version of themselves in other places, not necessarily everywhere else but the United States, but yes, in other places that is a thing. But I think the United States is more of an egotistical culture.
Yeah.
I can do it. I don't need anybody's help. Like I'm a independent person, you know.
I mean, in my opinion, I think it just comes from the culture, like you said, but it can come from the schools that you're in. Depends on what school, depends on who's there, who's the parents raising those parents, what are they seeing? Like it all is just like merging into one big painting and we're all just there and kind of feeding off of each other's ego and stuff. But I mean, if you think about high school, like popularity, like stuff like that is in the ego, like popularity shouldn't matter, like things like that. Or, you know, when you're young or something, you are really, really good at something and your ego is just because you're so good and you don't have like anybody to come along and teach you a humble heart. I think ego is a natural thing because we are humans and we have our flesh and our own selfish desires. I think we're born into a world of selfish desires.
Just self.
That's just how it is. Just self.
It's so weird. Like our human nature is automatically like, what do I need? I need to take care of myself.
I remember our pastor Micah, and he was talking about his kid and talking about like, oh, this is mine, about like a toy. And he looked at that and he's like, that's natural. Like his son is really young. Like I don't know how. I know the oldest one's 7, so I think the middle child's like, I forget, but he's like, that's mine. Or no, it was the youngest one. But he's like, that's mine. And it's like, that's natural. Like that's natural that we think like we just want it. We want it. This is ours, not anybody else's. That's natural. So the fact that you can, even working with kids and seeing how they are, I pay attention to how they are. And it's like, wow, yeah, how they're being is natural. Like that's how we come into the world. And then of course, who raises you, who you're around, your teachers, your friends, you start to mimic a little bit of. It was like that one episode we did, The Art of Travel, I think it was. That was a really good episode, I remember. But
probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I would love to listen to that again. And I have a hair on my lip. Excuse me. But I think I got it. But The Art of Travel is like you're getting a little piece of everybody's painting. So you can travel without traveling. Like everybody has their own life story. Everybody has their own just whatever, and you're getting a little piece of that person every time, like hearing their testimony, hearing their story. You're getting like a glimpse of how God works. You're getting a glimpse of like how his character is, and so that's really cool.
So my question would be like, where is the line? Because obviously it's natural for us to have like, it's mine, I need to take care of myself. Like obviously when we're hungry, we need to go eat. Like we know my body needs to eat. We know that this is what I need. I need to go do this. Like, I know this for a fact. I need to go eat. You know, like I know that. So where is the line? Like, where does it stop from like growing up from a child to becoming into adulthood? Like, where is that line where this is being too much egotistical, or this is being egotistical? Is it where it becomes like damaging to like, or where it affects other people maybe, or like is it okay to for ego to ever affect anybody?
I think
Like yourself to ever affect anybody?
Well, I think like just hearing that, what's coming to me is we are born here to have relationships and to experience life and to have family. Like, man did not create a family. Like, it wasn't my choice to have kids and get married. Like, God created to have a family. So if we're here to, if we're here to be a family and to have relationships with people, we're gonna have to like figure out how to love others and care about people. And the verse that came to me was love your neighbor as yourself. So if it's saying love your neighbor as yourself, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's saying love your neighbor as yourself, it's showing like you need to love yourself too. So I think it's a good balance. Like, we need to focus on ourselves. We need to grow. We need self-help. If going to a therapist, that's not egotistic, because you're taking care of yourself, but you're not being prideful about not needing help.
Right.
So
you're kind of like submitting yourself.
Yeah, I think egotistic is what you were saying. Okay. It's like
I'm
puffed up, or even a situation where you get offended and then you let your ego just take over that whole situation, where you're not taking a step back and you're like, oh, what's the big picture here? Like, why am I taking this personal? Like, looking at the log in your eye and not the other person's eye. Like, things like that. I feel like really explain that.
Like, things that I'm tired of seeing is people saying, I'm the chosen one, I'm the one, I'm him, I'm this, I'm that. Like, I am the one. There is 8 billion people on the freaking planet. You are not the one.
What do you mean by that? I've never seen
like,
that.
it's just a term. You're not really like in social media like that, but it's just a term that people use. Like, I'm him. Like, you're him. Or it's a term that it's like,
I
it's
want
pretty.
to understand. Like, why are they? What does that even mean?
It means like you're the one. Like, you're him.
Like, you're the goat.
Pretty much. The goat. Like, you're him. You're the one. Like, I'm the chosen one.
Okay.
Like, the term is thrown around so often nowadays. Yeah, but it's crazy because people get boosted up like this, and in their minds it's like, yeah, like I maybe I am like really, really gifted, and I am like the chosen one. Or maybe they don't go to that extreme, but like we can still get that kind of egotistical mindset where I am him.
I feel like that goes in the category of having confidence in yourself. You didn't create yourself. You didn't give yourself those gifts. So, like, why are you?
I think there's a difference between confidence and this kind of mindset, because confidence, yes, you are pursuing your own self and the giftings that you are gifted with, your callings and all of that stuff. Confidence, you need that. Egotistical is putting a cap on confidence, because as soon as you get told that you're not doing something right or you can't do something, you get insecure. Okay, well, why is he telling me that I can't do that? That's not true. Like, I'm the goat. I'm the chosen one. I'm him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
I wish I had a camera on your face right now.
It's just, it doesn't flow together. Like when people have like that kind of mindset, that egotistical mindset, it's a cap. There is no confidence in ego. Ego is the opposite of confidence, really, because there is no getting better. There is no learning how to do better. There is no teaching you. Like when you are full of ego, when you have ego at the forefront of every single thing that you do and put your mind to, you're never going to learn. You know everything already. Why would you learn?
Like, you're not open-minded.
Yeah.
I think even open-minded people could be egotistic, though.
How so?
Because they say that they're open-minded, but in the back of their mind, they're not really open-minded.
Like, what do you mean? I don't get that. You're
like
confusing me.
they'll like preach to be open-minded. Like, hey, like don't just keep yourself to like one thing. Like, don't think that thing is it. Like, be open-minded to other people's stuff. Be open-minded to other people's religion or other people's ways. Like, it can't just be that one way. Be open-minded. But then it's like those people that are speaking that, when you try to be, talk about your religion or your beliefs, they don't want to be fully open-minded to it because they cut that off out of their life. They're like, I'm not going to give that a try anymore. That can't be the only way. Like, I think just like having that
I feel like I can
wall up where it's like, that's kind of pushing the little buttons. I don't want to go there. It's like, let your ego down. Why don't you want to go there? Let's get into that, huh?
Let's go there right now.
Let's go there. Like, there's a reason why you don't want to go there. There's a reason, like, let's get to the root of the issue of why these things bother you the way they do. Like, don't let your ego's going to stop you from healing. That's what's going to happen.
Ego does stop you from healing, one. But two, I believe that ego actually kills you. I think spiritually, possibly even physically, whatever's tied behind the ego. I mean, I'm sure there's like extents to it, but I believe it could even damage your body, like damage your cells because of how you're thinking. I mean,
the negative thinking.
The negativity towards every single body's input that you have. Nope. I'm good. I'm right. Like, I don't need anybody's help.
Has to be.
I'm smarter. I'm better than you. I don't need it. Like, no. It has to be damaging to the body, because how could you thrive in that?
I just want to shake those people up.
Just grab them by the head.
You know what? If you're hearing this and I'm just going to shake you up right here and now. I hope you get shaken up. Hope you get uncomfortable. That's one reason why I love having topics like this, because we want you guys to get uncomfortable. We want to help plant those seeds for some change to happen in your life, some change to happen in your mentality. Like, something has to change. You can't keep going in this cycle, in this circle, and everybody's story is different. Everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's lens is different. And I never would want our perspective or our lens to look like this is how it only is. Like, this is our life. This is our perspective. And it's just like, this is what we're walking through, and having God in the center of our life and things that he's showing us. And we're here to just bring it to the table and say, hey, like, here it is. I hope this blesses you guys.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just wrap it up and give. If you open it, you like it, take it. If not,
but you
pass
have
to the next.
Yeah, but you have your own. You have your own life. You have your own struggles. But I'm pretty sure we all struggle, all in the same areas, but different.
Yeah, all in the same areas, but different levels, I think. But one of the reasons that I even wanted to do this episode or this topic of ego, because I've seen situations that have kind of been arising in my life, like with people that are in my life across my path, whether it be work, friends, life, like church, wherever, like I just see different situations, and sometimes I can notice things and pick things up. And then ideas come, like our ideas are inspired by like other people's or other conversations or things that we hear. So I'm always on the look for things that need to be talked about. So when ego came up through somebody else in a situation, then it made me think like that could be a topic, but maybe that's something that I need to work on as well. Because if I'm picking it up from somebody else, and if it's something that me and you both agree that it's something that people struggle with, it's definitely something that I struggle with too. So it's really good that we're talking about this. I've never really pinpointed this area of my life of ego and making sure that it's not something that's at the forefront of everything that I do, because like we're saying, it's damaging. It ruins relationships. We've seen that firsthand. It ruins your mindset. It ruins anything that you do, really. Like there is no growth in ego. Like like I said, there's a cap when you have ego. You can't go higher and higher. You only stay where you were at when you put that mindset on.
Yeah. And whatever you guys believe, like whatever your belief is, that's your walk. But we believe in the Holy Spirit, and that, Jesus left the Holy Spirit here for us to teach us, to guide us. So since we believe in the Holy Spirit, we walk with the Holy Spirit. And I love the verse where it says, do not walk by the flesh, but walk by the Spirit. And that reminds me throughout my day, whenever I am feeling my ego or my pride come in, it's like, all right, die of myself, not like literally, but spiritually. Let me just put this pride down. Let me put this ego down, and let me walk with the Spirit. Let the Holy Spirit guide me through my, inner struggles, through my walk. Like, let Him just guide me, And so that helps me and my ego, my pride, for sure. But I definitely struggle with ego too. If we want to get personal, we can.
Let's go.
Where do you? I'm gonna turn this around. Where is like ego that you see in your life?
I definitely, in our relationship, I mean, you see it firsthand when things are advised or when we get in conversation. I mean, ego can definitely come up very easily. And that's just part of like practicing communication correctly. But like you were saying, like it's dying spiritually. Yes, it is dying spiritually, but it's also dying physically too. Like you're actually dying to your old self. And your old self, the way that we were born, is egotistical because it's natural for us to me, mine. I'm him.
Mine.
I'm him. I'm the goat.
Hey.
So it's also physically dying to ourselves. We're dying to the old version of ourselves. And in turn, walking with the Spirit, walking with our new born again self. So when we die to our old self, we're putting away the egotistical, putting away the it's about me, and really more so than ever looking around everything else and saying, what is everybody else needing?
Man, it is a constant. It's a constant laying that stuff down.
Oh yeah.
Constantly. It's not something you're just going to like, aha, I got it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh,
let me put my backpack on and let's just do this thing. It's like that's
I like
what
that noise.
that's
Aha.
Ding ding. Putting the backpack on, it's like wait, hold on a sec. I already said that.
I got you.
Yeah, I forget where I was going. But it's not putting like the backpack on and saying, aha, I got it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's more like that's what's sharpening us constantly. That's what's growing us.
For show.
Faux show. Yeah, faux show. That's where it's like, oh, man, I am really going through it mentally. Man, I'm really going through it. Man, these old things are coming back up. Man, really got to walk through this. It's like, yeah, you do, because you're healing and God's pruning things out of your life, and it's just a constant.
Taking a beat real.
Be real. It's just a constant thing for real. So this episode is very challenging to me as well. For sure. Definitely take that part out.
Yeah, well, it should be challenging. It should be challenging to you. And if it's not challenging, then you should probably be scared because it's something that humans face. It's something that I'm pretty sure everybody deals with. I'm not going to speak for everybody. Maybe some people are very, very selfless, extremely selfless, but I would assume that they deal with it on some type of level. Like I said, it's different areas with same areas but different levels.
It could be an inner ego where you don't express it very much, but you're more quiet about it, and then you're damaging yourself quietly because you don't want to break things down. Yeah,
it's also true.
You're just going to shove it under a carpet and act like it's not there, and you're just going to be in circles over and over and over again. And that's just not life, guys. That's just not life. I don't want to do that.
We want to grow.
We want to grow.
We want to grow.
That's what this podcast is about. We growing out here.
So this podcast is actually sponsored by
Alexus Garza. Oh, now that my last name is Garza, I didn't tell you this yet, but now that we're on the podcast, I might as well tell everybody. But I had a lady call me today twice, asking if I speak Spanish.
Really? Hey, there
Probably
you go.
for an appointment, and I told her no. And she's just like, okay. And I asked her, what is this for? And she's just like, and hung up on me. And
Bro, you better bust out the Google Translate. Just type up a message, put it in Google, translate it, and then just send it.
Hours ago.
That's all I do.
So
that's money sitting on the table.
We are just a few minutes out until we have to end this episode, but I would like to hear the definition of ego again.
Like the actual definition?
Yeah, the actual definition.
I got you. So the actual definition of ego, ego. Ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So also people thinking that they are owed something. When you go around thinking that everybody owes you something, like, why are you doing this? You should be giving more attention to me. You should be allowing me to do more things like this, like having a chip on your shoulder and stuff like that. You're walking around with ego. You're walking around with, it's about me and nobody else in a selfish manner. And that is also another form of ego.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got some work to do. Not always like that, but that definitely creeps up.
It's not a shameful thing to admit. You know, we both have work to do, just like anybody who's listening. And if you don't think you have work to do, then I hope you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because you do. You need help. You need to work on yourself. You need to. This is a good reminder for you right now. Like, this is a good reminder to have that. Okay, let me make sure I'm not being egotistical towards the situation right now.
Can you imagine listening to this 20 years from now when we're like 40 years old and be like, whoa, I need to hear that.
I don't want to think about that. Don't age me.
Wow, this could be out there. I wonder what technology will be like in 20 years.
It's crazy.
Is there anything else you would like to add to this ego topic?
I think ego all around in general, just talking about like a big general aspect, it creates mean people. Like, it's not, nobody that has ego is nice. So I think that can also be another focus point. You know, like, when you have ego, you're not a really nice person. Nobody really wants to be around that person. Don't be that guy. Don't be that girl. You know, like, don't be that ego person that nobody wants to be around. Low key, like low key, I don't want to be around that person because all they think about is themselves. So that could be another point to pinpoint over this topic. And I hear this saying, I think it's on the radio, but they say there's a lot of good people in this world, and if you can't find one, then be one. So think about the other people around you. Think about the relationships you have, and it's not all about you. The world doesn't revolve around you. There's 8 billion people in this world. That's a very, very big number. When you look at it on paper, it will blow you away. You are not the one. But we are going to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in and all of the following and support that you guys give. We are so appreciative of it. We love you guys. We will see you next week. If you made it to the end of this episode, there is a special place for you in heaven. We will see you guys next week. Until then, see things from a higher view. Peace out, guys.
Peace out.